welcome to the channel. I'm Tochi, and today we are interviewing the man himself, the one who wields the Dark Mjolnir, the Black Panther, the Black Thor. There's so many names out there for you, Tyrone. It's amazing. Welcome to the channel, Tyrone. Thanks for coming.
No problem, man.
Yeah, and today we're gonna ask him a couple questions. The way I'm setting it up, I have a couple of my own questions because it was actually you and Gator Martin, whose channels I've seen like in the past, that actually inspired me to start making reaction videos. And I don't know if you knew this before. I had a channel before this called Tochi a la carte Reviews, which was dedicated to anime. But then after seeing your channel, it actually inspired me to broaden my horizons and actually touch upon a whole bunch of other bases.
Okay, cool. You know, it's kind of funny. I actually noticed that a lot of brothers actually do reaction.
Yeah.
You know, and someone had to bring that to my attention. Like, yeah, it's like all black people do reactions. And
yeah.
I started thinking about everybody. I was like, damn.
Yeah, because
a lot of us are black.
Right? Because I was actually someone actually I get comments every so often. It's just like, why is always black people reacting? I'm just like, I can't answer that for you.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, but I have a couple of questions. I have 10 of my own, and then some from subscribers that have actually asked questions of their own. So we'll just get into it.
All right.
So the first question that I have for you is, if there was one piece of information that you can tell your younger self that you've learned after your many encounters and journeys, experiences as an adult right now, what would you tell him?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What would I tell him? This might sound a little hokey, because I know not a lot of people, there are people that do not believe in it. And whether you think it is what the books say it is or not, I think there is something to it. And that is the law of attraction. I would tell myself that that'd be the first thing. Because once I learned how to use it properly, that's when things started to move forward for me. And I mean, really fast. And that's when I started to feel in a lot more control of my life than just feeling like I'm at effect. Like life is constantly happening to me. This, you know, but once you, I mean, it's a really powerful tool once you learn to use it. You're walking through life making things happen.
Yeah, because I remember you made that one video being at cause and not effect. And that was a very, very when I saw that, I was just like, you know what, that's a lot. It's really true, because a lot of people, they don't take initiative for what they want to do, and they're the effect of someone else's actions. And when you actually think about it, it makes a lot of sense, Yeah,
so if I could tell him that, oh man, who knows where I'd be by now? In an alternate timeline somewhere,
on some Flash Paradox stuff.
yeah. I'm like some, I don't know. Maybe I'm some A-list actor or something by now.
Right, already at the top of Hollywood.
Yeah, man. It's like, but I'm glad I did learn how to use it, because I don't feel powerless anymore. And life can beat you down.
It really can, yeah.
To a point where you do feel powerless, and you're just like, God, if I could just get through this and just get a few things that make me happy in life, I'll be okay. I feel like sky's the limit. So I think that's what I would tell them.
Yeah, I don't know. You mentioned that and a couple other things in some past Magnus Answers videos, and that's something I want to tell my nation, because my name is SwagFoulNation for my channel, and I kind of want to let them know, because a lot of people they join your channel around more recently, this year. But if you guys can, go check out his Magnus Answers playlist. I actually have it saved on my channel, so if you want to go check it out for yourself, go check it, because there's a lot of great information there that has actually bettered me in a way,
A lot of people they've told me this is why I subscribe to you. It's like, yeah, reactions are funny, they're great, but there's a different side of me. You actually get to, you dive deep into my mind, and I give you everything that I know. So it's different.
Yeah, through those Magnus Answers, you can actually see that you've went through these things, you went through trials and tribulations, and that this advice can actually better yourself, It shows you the real type of person that you are,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But next question that I have for you is what is your favorite aspect about YouTube and one thing you would change about YouTube?
Ooh. This is a new. This one's new. I've never heard this question before. This is pretty good. So my favorite. One thing that I like about it, and is this something that I learned? Have you ever been part of any? This is another thing people are skeptical about, but I've met people that are actually doing the damn thing. Multi-level marketing.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The whole thing that gives the negative stigma to it is the whole pyramid scheme, which is something that was done, I believe, in the 70s. It's a particular guy in a particular company, and it was something he did, and it really gave everything else a bad name. If you look at multi-level marketing, it's made more millionaires out of people than any other type of business, period. So it gives people a chance to be their own business owner. And that's what I like about YouTube.
Yeah.
It's my channel. I can do anything I want on it for the most part, as long as I'm within certain guidelines. And, you know, in a way, I'm financially free. You know, like I said, I look at my videos as investments. You know, small investments. If I was on the stock market, okay, I could buy a little in the Batman v Superman trailer and see how that, it's your AKA a reaction, see how that performs. All these things that help me to live, you know, without having to answer to some guy in the office just breathing down my neck all day. So it gives me a chance to be independent. What would I change? Although I don't pay attention to them much, you know, they are mild irritant, like a fly buzzing around your face. But I like it, and they've done a great job. But an easier way to just, you know, get rid of people and be done with them that are trolls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They always come back, you know, and because my channel is so big now, it's almost a blessing that it's like I don't have the time to read every single comment.
Yeah.
To see all that crap that most of them put. But at the same time, sometimes I go on and, you know, my subscribers are arguing with these people. They start in trouble with the subscribers, and sometimes I'll see it and I'll block them. And, you know, I think I still do a good job of it. But if there was a way that they policed it a little bit better, millions of people, you know, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could just keep it wholesome. I think that's one thing I would police. So.
Yeah, like I noticed, like for me, I don't know if you've experienced this on your channel yourself, but there's like a thing with like the commenting system. Like there's certain people I can respond to, but then there's other people I can't even respond to them at all. And sometimes it's actually something I want to respond to. You know?
Yeah. All you see is a thumbs up or a thumbs
up. I thought it was just me. I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I think maybe they have like
some sort of glitch or something.
YouTube channel, but no Google Plus, or maybe vice versa. I don't know what it is. It's something that's not right.
Did you have your channel before like they integrated Google Plus into it?
Yeah. And once they integrated it, you had to still sign up.
Yeah.
Google Plus, but now you don't have to. Right?
Yeah, that's true. But and also like moving back to what you said about like, you know, being your own person, like the whole multi-level marketing, I believe like I agree with what you're saying, and like there's something just about being like your own individual person and having like sole responsibility for yourself that kind of gives you more like, you know, fulfillment, if you agree with that.
It does. It does, man. It's like, you know, when I quit, my boss still wanted me to work for him. He asked me to do, you know, work for him a couple more weeks, which is what I did. But I only ended up like working like twice. Like one day he asked me to run an appointment somewhere. So I was totally done with it, man. There's a certain amount of freedom that you have that it's you know, you can't really describe it. You know?
Yeah.
Feel really free.
Yeah. I probably won't even feel that for a while because like I'm actually in college right now, trying to get my degree in biochemistry, and it's rough right now, but you know, in the future I kind of want to have like, you know, like my career, but I want to be able to have some time to like develop myself as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's you know, it's one of those things where I wonder if certain guys like yourself, like, how many subscribers you have now?
Right now I have around 41,000.
Okay, 41,000. When did you
Yeah.
start?
I started this channel like consistent. I started the channel like maybe March or April, like with a couple like Game of Thrones stuff. But then like I kind of stopped for a while. But then I
The fact
consistently.
that you have that many, let me stop you right there. The fact that you have that many, see, it's funny because the reactors are really kind of close knit now. So we all know each other, and we collab and we help each other out. And I'm talking like, oh man, back when I started, it was just me and my few hundred subscribers. That was
right,
it.
yeah.
And it was like, damn, like I was above. I think. No. I think I was maybe around 50 or 60,000, maybe. Star Wars trailer reaction that I did came out, and then it just started.
Just took off, yeah.
But I'm just saying, and getting back to my point, is that you're in college, and there's another guy. He does a lot of tech stuff. He's always reviewing phones. I think his name is like Brownlee or something. That sounds familiar?
Yeah, I think I've seen him before. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny because I'm watching him and I'll be like, damn, he's in college still, and he's always talking about he's in college, and I'm like, I know his income, where he's at. He's like in
He's up there, yeah.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder how many people are in college and they're doing a YouTube channel and it explodes and they like, fuck it.
Right.
I mean, YouTube
Right.
for life. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because a lot of times, and I don't think there's anything really wrong with this because of the type of society we live in, but sometimes I think people, like for example, they'll say, oh, well, go to school, become a doctor. Because it's not because their first thought is, I want to help people. It's because it's a high income and it'll help you live a nice lifestyle. But if you're in college for a specific love, like if you love biochemistry and that's your thing, of course, stay in there. But I'm just one of those people that kind of like, nah, I just want to become a lawyer because I know I'm gonna become a millionaire. But those that are like, man, this channel the way it's going, I could drop out of college.
Right. Exactly.
Hell with that piece of paper.
Yeah. Like for me, I've always kind of had like a certain view of like the educational system in like America, and I've always kind of felt like there needed to be like some sort of reform. Especially like, cause I know in high school, I don't know if it was like this when you're in high school as well, but like they treat you like, foreign languages like Spanish or like French or Latin. And like, I've always, like, I remember writing a paper about this. Like, I felt like that is something that needed to be taught like at a very young age. Cause like there's a certain point in your life where like, you see like these little kids like speaking fluent Spanish, and you go to college and you're already like, your mind is already set. You already starting to accommodate yourself and have your certain beliefs. When you're younger, that's the time you're supposed to be molded. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you're supposed to be learning languages. But I don't know. I've always had that kind of view, and I kind of felt like someone needed to do something about that. But you know how it is in the United States.
Yeah, things rarely change. I remember reading that the school day, just the way the whole school day is planned, the time that you go to school and get out, it's still from farm days. It was all set up when everybody was farmers, and it does need to be changed.
But change is a thing that rarely comes in the U.S. It's something that's really hard to do.
It's true.
Yeah, and then third question. If you can spend the day with any one YouTuber, who would it be?
Yeah. I can spend the day with any one YouTuber. Damn, that's a tough one too. Makes me want to say something funny and pick like a hot chick. But you know what? I actually would like to have a conversation with PewDiePie. To see just what he did, how things, and how he's, handling things. And I would like to talk to him just to get to know what it's like being at the top and how he did it and all that.
Basically, yeah. I remember seeing this documentary or some article about PewDiePie, how like when he first started, he wasn't really popping because he started like in a different country, and I think he's multilingual as well. And he kind of dominated one era. Yeah, exactly. He dominated this whole, basically the whole country. He had more subscribers than actual country. And then when he transitioned, then that's when he's like started popping off. Like he do the games and stuff. Like he really got lucky on that one.
Yeah, that, you know, so with that whole theory, him moving and it became available in more than one country and stuff
exactly.
like that. That was interesting. But yeah, that's what I would probably do.
Yeah, would you want to be like? Is there a specific language you'd want to be fluent in?
Fluent? You know what's funny? For the longest time, because I was into not as much as you, but I was into Japanimation. You know, Japanese always sounded pretty cool, especially in the fighting games. You know,
right? Yeah.
Super move. I'm like, damn, you know, it like, you know, when someone says, you know, like Shinku Hadouken, sounds very super fireball.
Just the way they say it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, man, that language sounds pretty cool. Maybe I'd like to learn that. But then I did the ancestry test. Did you ever see that video?
Yeah.
Found out my bloodline and all that stuff, and I was like, you know, if I'm going to learn any foreign language first, I'd like to learn, you know, a native African language. You know? It's probably between those two, and I want to learn some Spanish too, just because there's so many damn Latinas out there. Yeah, there's a lot of Spanish people in my area. It just would be handy to have.
Yeah, and I noticed, like, maybe because we're already used to the English language, but like when we hear like you're saying, like the Japan, like the attacks in other languages, it sounds like just so cool, like Hadouken, like the way that it's said, you know, like when it's said in English, it's like, okay, we're used to it, you know.
Yeah, you're so used to that, it don't sound that cool. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, fireball.
Right. Like no emphasis, no passion. Like I feel like there's a lot of passion in other languages, you know.
Right.
Especially like Spanish as well. Like I feel like it's so like such a passionate language, you know.
Yeah, well, I remember in high school finding out that Spanish is one of the. I thought French was the language of love. That it gets the most credit, but there's a few different languages of love, and Spanish is one of them, and I didn't know that. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I was always an impression that it was French as well.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then the next question I have for you is, if you were to get like hypothetically a super major role in a movie, with your channel, would you make it like, you know, kind of vlog based, like still kind of being like in touch with your Magnus site, something like that? Because I know you're not, because especially with rules, like I've talked to an actor before, he was just like, yeah, like I'm busy all the time memorizing lines, doing this, that, going place to place. Like, would you think like vlogging would probably be like the next option you'd go to before coming back to reactions?
Well, yeah, I mean, even with me possibly getting into this reality show, you saw me.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I would still be doing my reactions on my downtime. But I mean, if I was at a point where I was at somebody's level, like, you know, Tom Cruise or The Rock, it's like I'm doing like a multi-million-dollar movie. I don't know what I would be doing because I don't know how busy they actually are. But I probably would. I'd be like, oh, look, I'm in between makeup. This is what I look like beforehand. Wait till y'all see what I look like afterwards, you know. Yeah, I might do something like that. I probably would because y'all would want to know. Y'all would want an inside look at what I'm doing. So I definitely would, and I would do reactions and every other thing when I could. But if to keep y'all happy and thirsty, keep us quenching. Like, these reactions today. Let me give them a couple of vlogs. They can see what I'm doing, so they know he ain't just just doing
chilling.
Stuff, you know. So,
maybe you can just be doing reactions with like The Rock and Tom Cruise when you just be chilling in the Yeah. But then next question is so when I saw like the first video when he actually started doing like, you know, 1 million subscribers, woo, was the woo like, you know, like something off the cuff, like off the fly, or did you actually plan to do that?
I think when I first did it, when I ended the video, I think I was in mid Ric Flair impression. So, like, now you'll hear me say 1 million subscribers. Woo! But before I would go 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I would do it like him. So, but then eventually it just became my own because I think the first couple of videos I did it in, I was talking like him. That's where it came from.
And eventually just caught on.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I was surprised at how many. I was like, wow, they really like me in videos like this. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I remember Dante, he was saying, like, because everyone's just like, oh, Dante, take off the hat and all that. And, like, he was just saying, like, before when he was actually doing, like, a Q&A, like, he just did his first video with the bucket hat on. And, like, I guess he just kept on doing it again and again, you know?
Yeah, it became his thing. It just, it works.
Yeah.
Like, you probably can't cut your hair now because that's your look.
I know. It's just like that, right?
Can't cut your hair,
yeah.
man.
I remember because, like, I had a different hairstyle when I first started the channel. And, like, when I cut my hair, a lot of people were just like, dude, what the heck, man? Why are you cutting your hair? I was just like, hey, just need something new, you know? It can't be the same thing all over and over again, you know?
They get so used to you and fall in love with the character that you are, that when you change something, it's like, what?
Right.
So, y'all got to remember, we're real people sometimes.
Exactly, yeah. Because I remember when you had I think I was reading the comment section like a while back. You had when you started like the fro and everything, and like when you cut it off, and like the next people were just going crazy nuts. So I was just like, whoa, like
why'd you cut the fro?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was time for a new cut anyway. I had a fro because I was trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do with my head.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was like, oh well, I was just gonna keep growing. So I figured it out.
Yeah, I had a pretty bad moment back in the day because like I had like really long hair, like like you know, oh, what was his name? The comedian Cat Williams. My hair was like that. Yeah. It was bad.
Now you know we all want to see that now. You don't have to post that.
Like I was actually gonna bring this up to the other reactors, like you know, like some YouTubers are like, oh, reacting to old videos or old pictures, and I think you actually mentioned like you're gonna go react to some old pictures. Like I think it'd be pretty funny to make like, you know, like a before and a then now video, like something like that.
Yeah, what I said I was gonna do, I was gonna go through my old pictures. They're in storage, but I gotta find them, and then I was gonna scan them in and kind of show y'all what I used to look like. You know?
Yeah, that long hair picture of mine might come in the future. Yeah, but next question is let's see. Is there some aspect about yourself that you catch yourself doing that you would want to change, like some mannerism that you find annoying about yourself or something like that?
Yeah, when I talk, I do this a lot. I do that a lot. Or, you know, I touch my face a lot and I sniff. And what's funny is it's all part of a conversation like, yeah, man, so this is what happened. That's all it is.
I know do that.
It's not even, I don't, like, I've never done any drugs. I was about to say I don't have any sinus problems, but I actually do from time to time. I have some sinuses, so that could have, you know, where it comes from when I do that. If you watch my brother, he does the same thing. He does. He has a habit of going like this, and my brother, when he'll get really amped and try to explain something to you, he'll go like this. Yo, listen. I mean, what the fuck is this? They're like, what do you think? Just walking? They doing the talking? What's
exactly.
Like, nah, see, because when I'm like, and I never noticed it, just you know, because I'm used to him. But this guy pointed it out one day, and I was like, yo, he does do that. I forgot about that shit. I don't know why he does that, but he does. So it's a nervous habit that I do, and also, yeah, when I'm wearing hats. You'll notice if I'm wearing bikinis, I do that. And of course, there's always there's always that.
Like I
don't know. I just if I could stop those nervous mannerisms, that'd be all good.
And it's funny because like some of those mannerisms that you think like, you know, that you'd want to change, like the sniffing and everything, like that's like a part of your character from the YouTube channel. You know, like people like laugh at that kind of stuff. And like I never really noticed before, but like, you know, things like glass ceilings. Like, you know, like there's something about a person that you don't really notice until someone actually points it out, and you're just like, oh, that's so true.
Yep.
So like when that guy was just like, you know, doing the shit, I've seen it, but I never really, I was just like, dude, that's so every video.
Yep. I do that all the time, man. I hate that. I'm like, damn, I forgot. I gotta stop doing it. And in my older videos, I don't say it as much anymore, but I used to say, you know what I'm saying, like a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If I can get rid of those, I'll be.
Right, don't get rid of them. That's part of your channel, man. It's too late.
Or
too
just
late.
curb them, you know, so I don't look like I snort cocaine. Like, there's a few
Right.
people, like, let me tell you something. I don't make enough money from this gig.
Right.
Be no cocaine addict first.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, but next question I have, is there something that you used to rock or used to do back in the day that you look back on now and you're just like, what was I thinking, you know?
Something that I wear or do. Y'all got some good questions, man. Like, I haven't heard a lot of these questions before.
Trying to be unique over here, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what's kind of funny? I do remember in the 90s was this, just to say it sounds funny, there was a short set that I bought. And it was these black shorts, and the shirt was mesh and it was see-through.
Oh no.
And it had a UC on it. It stood for Urban Circuit. That was the name of the company. And had like these silver stripes on the side. And I remember this dude said to me one time, I was walking in the mall, and my boy always thinks this is the funniest story. He said, remember that time that security guard saw you? He said, what's that stand for? Ugly cousin? No, Urban Circuit. Because I got mad.
You got the whole time.
Yeah, you couldn't catch me dead in that now. Like, I'm like, damn, rocking a mesh see-through shirt. God.
You know you gotta bring that to the channel, right?
You know what? If it's a shirt, I mean, if there's a picture of me in it, I will put it up. But I haven't took a picture with it.
Yeah, I know you're just trying to say that because you don't want to show it.
No, I swear to God.
All right.
I'm gonna show y'all some funny looking pics of me. Believe me.
Don't tell me you had a Jerry curl back in the day.
Yeah, I had an S curl.
Oh, okay.
Never had the Jerry curl, which was wet like Ice Cube and Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Like that, because it's just nasty and wet all the time. But
yeah,
S curl, you know, you can relax the hair. You put activator in it. Too much. Nice day, nice.
Get a little wave in there.
Look wet, but it wasn't wet.
Yeah, gave it the illusion. But yeah, next question is if there was another country that you would live in, like besides the United States, where would you want to live?
I actually thought about Australia for a little while. I really did.
Australia?
I thought about that hard. I thought about moving over there or visiting. There was just something about it that I really liked. Nowadays, though, a lot of times I think about having on my own private island. Nice tropical blue see-through water.
Magnus Island.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely thought about that. I probably will one day try to move somewhere tropical where it's all year round and I ain't got to deal with no damn snow. You live in California, so you don't got to deal with that, right?
Yeah, there's almost no snow over here. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. So, you know, I hear y'all have beautiful weather over there a lot. But with all the possible falling into the ocean,
right?
I don't want to be there when the big one hits.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be. But you know, the crazy thing is, I think about getting an island. I'm like, damn, what if a tsunami hits?
Yeah, he's just off the map. Man. Yeah.
Damn. Today, Tyrone Crawley. Pacific Ocean.
Like they hold like a
engulfed.
Right.
Tsunami of 2027. Like, I'm like, god damn. So I don't know where I want to live, but I do want to live somewhere where it's warm all year.
Yeah, that'd be like the dream, right?
Yeah.
Just have it like you're just pina colada, just
man.
Magnus.
I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert at heart. although I have a lot of energy. I do like to have my own time to myself sometimes. What better than a beautiful tropical island to myself where I could just go and relax. And so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm introverted, but like, I'm not introverted. Like once you get to know me, like that's
right. That's how we introverts are. Once you get to know us, we're out there. But there's that time where we need that seclusion. As we go into our room or our house, wherever we are, and it's just all right. It's our time to recharge and stuff like that. And that's what I mainly need it for, because I love people. I like being around my friends and family. It's just that when I need time to de-stress, that I like to have that.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't get that too. They're just like, why you always like go in your room and like just staying there like hours on end? I'm just like, I can't be outside. Just like I get tired out. Like.
My brother's the complete opposite. He was the guy that was outside all the time playing, while I was inside playing video games, watching movies.
Yeah, and then next question I have is from YouTuber to YouTuber, is there like one piece of advice that you would give that you found pretty helpful for yourself as well?
Yeah, take your channel in the direction you want to take it. Listen to your subscribers, but if you have a particular vision, hold on to that. My vision in the beginning was to have a great wrestling channel. Now it's not that anymore. It's and your dream can change depending on what's given to you. So after a while, I was just like, wait a minute, this can actually be something. This is something that I can make a living from. I can have freedom and time. And I was like, that's what I want. I want to develop a great channel and, just live the way I want to live. So while the fans always pretty much tell you what they want. I mean, even with, you can look at somebody like Johnny Depp. He plays dark characters well. The fans love it so much that he continues to play dark characters. He knows what they want. But I'm sure behind the scenes, he's still living the life he wants to live.
Exactly, yeah.
Stay holding your dream and listen to your fans, but never, like I said, never lose sight of where you want to go. Because sometimes people don't exactly know that what you're going to do might be even better than what they could think. I think of
like that you don't know till you know video that you made.
You know what that video was mainly about too, and a lot of people got the idea wrong. Because they got it so wrong. Because I was speaking in code, because there were certain things I didn't want to name and certain situations I didn't want to name. But I was just basically saying, like, a lot of times if you see a person make a decision, sometimes you think he made the wrong decision. He really didn't, because you don't know that he's got something so much better planned. You know what I mean? That, like, it's just certain things I want to say so bad, but it'll put certain people out there if I do stuff. But that's what it's about. It's about personal stuff in my life. It's about business decisions. And you only see one aspect of my life. See something and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have did that. Well, how do you know I shouldn't have did that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I got in replace of that? So, but what I was talking about is like sometimes how people will think, okay, you're going into another direction and that's not going to be good. I'll give you a prime example. A lot of my subscribers are wrestling fans. Are you a wrestling fan?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember when Triple H first came out, how he was, yeah, he was that, prissy, blue blood. But then he totally changed his character, and he's wearing jeans and the leather jackets, and he's carrying a sledgehammer. It was something where he totally destroyed the last character that he was and went forward with something new.
Complete change,
more popular than he, could have ever been with that last character. And that's what I mean. Like, I think talking to subscribers, y'all need to have an open mind, because don't know what's going to happen sometimes. Your favorite entertainers make certain decisions. Sometimes they make the best decisions in the world and they skyrocket. And of course, sometimes they don't. But just, you know, let us live and watch us from the outside. Enjoy the ride with us.
Exactly, yeah. And then my next question actually is my last one that I have for myself, and then later is like the subscribers questions. Is there one thing that you did in your past that you would want to take back?
One thing I did. You know, there is something, but I don't want to say what it is.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
We've all done things we're ashamed of. And this is something that I wouldn't have did. I actually feel bad to it till this day, even though some people would say I was kind of justified in it, kind of like, because, you know, it's just, if you knew the situation, you'd be like, yeah, like, come on, man, yeah, you was okay, because this motherfucker, we know him, you know, but I just, yeah, I felt bad about it, you know, no one was hurt, but it'd be one of those things that, like, if people found out, they would be. I just felt bad about it, but that's, I have, we all have.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that if I hadn't did it, it wouldn't have changed. You know, sometimes you make mistakes and you're glad you made them, you know, because I learned this from that, and it, you know. But this one, it was one of those things where it didn't have to be done, but it was, and, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so now moving on to the subscribers.
That's why all the questions were in depth, because they were coming from these. Yeah, coming from you. I was like, these are some real analytical questions, man. Like, okay, now we get into the fans.
Yeah,
they say.
Yeah, because I made a I made the video.
Picked all the analytical ones from them though too. Right?
Yeah, some of them too. Yeah. Like, cause I remember I made a video like telling people, all right, people, I'm gonna be interviewing Tyrone, like put some questions, and like when I first started YouTube, I was just like, okay, like I see certain comments, I was like, it's just maybe one person, but then like the things that some people say on the internet, and like you read it, and it's just like just I don't know what you're trying to get out of that, but yeah.
Yeah, they asked some sick ass questions sometimes.
Yeah, some of them were just
Yeah, they kicked.
Yeah, right. And then so first person is actually my homie Rashad the Reactor.
Yeah, Rashad, funny ass. Yeah. Where's Rashad live?
Rashad, I think I want to say, because you remember that one video, the racist field trip?
Okay.
And the guy said like he was, I think Alabama, I believe, is out there. I think that's where he said he's from. I think that's where he goes to school right now in college.
Okay.
Yeah, but his question, he actually has two, and is if you couldn't do YouTube and you had to choose another career, what would it be?
I would be acting. Be acting full time. When I after I became a little schooled in acting, and I won the IMTA award, my big focus was to become the guy in the commercial that you love. That's my goal. No matter what it was, you know, I wanted to have whoever I was advertising, that brand. Like, I love that dude. Like, he's the guy for those commercials. That's what I wanted to be.
Like how the Six Flags guy is like, whenever you think of Six Flags, you think of like the grandpa dancing or like something like that. Okay,
grandpa, but he's associated with that. I do. I hate that. You know what? I probably hate more. I hate the song.
Yeah.
I hate that song, man. I do.
It gets to you, right?
I hate it. Almost as much as I hate John Cena. But, but you know, the all-state guy, you know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good. You know, all that. But I wanted to be that iconic character. So maybe that'll happen sooner or later. You know?
And then his second question was actually, in your mind, do you think you'd be a successful bodybuilder or a successful wrestler?
You know what? I think if I went full steam ahead, that I could be successful in both of those fields. The problem is that bodybuilding involves substance. Well, so does a lot of wrestling. Involves substances that I don't want to use, man. I'm fearful of it. Um, and in a way, it's like I'm more fearful of wrestling because it has the whole permanent type injury you can get. You can actually be killed in the ring. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you know. And with bodybuilding, it's similar. You know, with the substances. You know, look at guys like Eddie Guerrero dying of the enlarged heart. You know, you just don't know what's going to happen to you. But that's why I said that. I think I mean, when I was younger, I'm serious. When I was like, I would say maybe 19, 20, guys literally in the gym always told me, you need to compete. It's time. You need to compete. And I've been told that. I was told that for a while, man. And I assume it's something I could go back into if I wanted to, and maybe really do a natural show, like a real natural show. And as far as wrestling, because I really just don't want to get injured, I've thought about becoming a manager. I think that would be really fun, coming out talking trash, maybe taking it from time to time. And I have a whole lot of fun doing it, you know. So, yeah, I think I could be successful in both. I wasn't so fearful of what could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I actually have one more question of mine. Like, do you ever think of, like, the magnitude, like, you look at, like, okay, I have, like, 450,000 subscribers. Do you ever think, like, wow, like, this many people are out here supporting me, like, you know, coming back to see me, like, regularly, and, like, you know, if I was actually, like, in a Coliseum, like, they would probably fill up the whole place. Like, have you ever, like, been bewildered by that?
Yeah, you know, I have thought about that. I was like, you know what's funny? Maybe if I was a wrestler or got into wrestling or a manager, whatever, and, you know, even if it's like, you know, I thought about the whole thing with, you know, I'm like fascinated with playing a superhero.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether it happens or it doesn't, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I get to 1 million and I keep going. I said, this is something, though, that could actually really speak to these business owners. Like, got several million followers. They all want him to play this character. Like, they will come out for him. Like, YouTube subscribers are very, I've noticed a lot of them are very loyal. I mean, to the point where, I mean, like, I remember when the NBC story came out.
Oh, yes.
And on, they posted, NBC posted their video to Facebook. And I went over there, and there was people talking shit already. And I had told people, go to NBC's Facebook and defend me to the death. And when I went back, I was like, holy shit, they're tearing people apart. I'm like, wow.
You got your own army.
I really appreciate the loyalty and that they were willing to go to bat for me and defend me. So I know they'd be willing, you know, to you know, yes, come to the arenas and see perform and stuff like that, you know. So it's nice to know that there's people that really believe, that truly believe in you and have your back like that. You know? Yeah,
and it's weird, right? Because it's weird. Because like, have you been like, you've been noticed a couple times out in public by your subscribers? I've seen it on Instagram a couple times. Have you ever? Because like, I've been like noticed a couple times, not too frequently as much as you probably have been, but but yeah, but
no, I really am sniffing this time.
Oh yeah, I was just like,
go ahead though.
Yeah, but have you ever been like, you know, maybe the first couple of times you've been noticed, like kind of been caught off guard, like, whoa, like I didn't expect to be brought out into like the real world, you know, like
every time it's still like, wow. Like the last time was I think last week or the week before, I was in the gym. This guy came up to me and he was like, "You Magnus from YouTube?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "My brother, he just saw you." He was like, "Yeah, I think," he was like, "Can he get a picture? I can get him to come back out here and see."
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when he came out and they're talking to me and I'm taking a picture, it's kind of, it's surreal, you know what I mean? Like, because people in the gym that don't know what I'm doing now, you know, they're looking at me like, wait, who the fuck is he? You know?
Right, yeah.
They can tell they want to say something.
Yeah.
But want to ask me like some damn groupie or something.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna ask him, but apparently he do something. So it's cool. It's cool every single time. Man.
Yeah. And then my next question, or a next question that a subscriber asked, Billy Lawrence, he said, "What is the worst nightmare you've ever had?"
Worst nightmare. You know what? I had a dream one time, and it was the worst because yeah, my mom had just passed away, but I had a dream a few weeks later that she was still alive.
Oh.
So that hurt, knowing that she wasn't when I woke up. If you could say that's the worst, that's probably one of the worst. But I've had all the other regular dreams where like you're fighting a monster and your punches are going really slow.
Right.
And it's like, God, I'm trying and I'm hitting it. And I can't, but it's cool. My successful dreams, I used to have these dreams where I was flying, but I couldn't control it.
Oh.
So yeah, you might have seen that in a couple of superhero movies where they're like they find out they can fly, but they're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like that. But after a while, I learned to control that, which was pretty cool. I don't know. It's just I would have these reoccurring dreams where I could fly, and then eventually I started to learn how to use it. And I was like, holy shit. I also had Magneto type dreams where I could like telekinesis.
Right. Yeah.
Some I've had those too. So, but yes, that was the worst one. If you really want to get bad, yeah, that was the worst.
Yeah. Maybe you're just gonna wake up and you're gonna be levitating over your bed like super.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can control it though.
Right. You just be stuck up there, just can't get down.
Yeah, I fall and break the bed or something.
Right. And his next question is, what childhood experience impacted your character the most?
Childhood. Childhood. Well, you know what? I always go back to this as being the pinnacle part of my life because it was the turning point. And I wasn't a child, but in a lot of ways I was when my mom passed away because she sheltered us so much. We were almost like me and my brother like grown ass kids. And there's just a lot of things that we didn't really know how to do as an adult. I mean, there were people I knew that were on their own at 18. I'm sure if I was kicked out and I was made to go get my own apartment and all this other stuff on my own, I know I would figure it out. But it was just I was so unprepared for full adulthood. So after that was the pinnacle turning point. It was like, all right, look, you need to be a full grown ass man. You need to handle all your business. You need to be accountable for yourself and your decisions. That was all a turning point. It was when I started studying health. It was when I started studying, financial freedom and, just positive thought. Like that was the whole switch. And it's kind of weird because sometimes I wonder, I'm like, where would I be if she didn't die? Would I still would I be? I like to think that I wouldn't be, but I'm like, damn, would I be that dude? It's like in his 30s, still living with mom, like, So I don't know. But that was the pinnacle changing point for me, man.
I feel you.
Nothing else impacted me like that. Nothing.
Yeah, because after that, like, you pretty much a changed person,
Yeah, and you're by yourself. Like, my dad's still alive, but he was never there in the first place, really. So, it's kind of like, all right, well, I don't have anybody. You know what I mean? It's just me. I got my friends and the rest of my family, but it's different when you don't have the main person there that's always been there for you.
Yeah.
So, that's different.
I know what you mean. And then next question from Captain Boss. His question is, if you could have any talent, what would it be?
Any talent?
Yeah.
I'll be a singer. No. I would want to be an artist. There's so much that you can create from your mind if you're an artist. That I can create anything I want with my pencil. And I've always hated the fact that I can't do that. You know, I remember when I was younger, I used to draw. I had two friends that were just phenomenal artists, and they were always drawing comic book characters. They could literally almost make it look identical to the comic book, and it was just
crazy.
Like, yeah, I always hated the fact that I couldn't do that, man. And you know, it was just their talent. You know, like, hey, I was funny, they were artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, can't have it all. You know.
Yeah, we had different talents. You know, it's just if I could do that, yeah, I think that'd probably be it.
Yeah, because there's always been those things that I've always wanted to, like, oh, dude, that would look really cool, but I can never, like, draw it down on a paper, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you follow bodybuilding?
A little bit sometimes here and there.
Do you know who Kai Green is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. He's also an artist. You know, and...
Really? He's an artist, too?
Yeah.
Wow.
He paints portraits. He's made portraits of himself. Oh. Yeah, he's, you know, and that's kind of one of those funny things where once you find out he's an artist, you kind of, everything else falls into place. Because if you hear him talk, you know he's a guy that I could probably talk to, and me and him have a nice deep conversation. But just his posing routines, they're very artistic. He's known for his posing routines, you know, where someone might look at it and be like, why is he doing all this? Someone with a more artistic mind is going to be like, I know why he's doing it. He's expressing himself. He's not, you know, being confined by all these other rules. And it's like, you know, and when I found out he was an artist, I was like, it fucking makes sense. You know, but
and there's always like a soothing aura to like artists. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, there is. You know, and just talking about this is maybe going to make me take one. You ever get in the mail sometimes, some of those community art classes? Yeah. It's making me think about seeing, okay, wait a minute. 38, let's see what you can do at this age, you know? So, the Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
The Ultimate Warrior was funny, too, because me and him are both, I think he's got a birthday, his birthday is like near mine, or both born in the year of the snake, like with the Chinese zodiac. It's like these, a lot of these things that are similar between me and him. And I've always said this, and if you're a fan of the Ultimate Warrior, you watch the DVD, like the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, like they talk about him, and they'll talk about his promos, and they're like, you know what the hell he was saying? He never made any sense. But I was like, I understand him when he's talking. He'd be going crazy, you know, doing this and that, and the spaceship and the rocket fuel and the warrior. And I'd be like, I know what he's talking about. You know, me and him understand each other, but he turned out to be an artist also.
So maybe you have that.
Yeah, maybe I got it, man.
Pick it up, man.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're gonna be making like because I remember seeing that one fan video that someone made for you when they gave you like the Super Saiyan hair, like when you're going up against Vegeta. When I see fan art and like fan videos like that, like I'm just like, wow, like I want to try and be able to create something of my own like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Shit.
Yeah. And then next question from Ray J World. His question is, what is your biggest Star Wars memory? And if you can do the Wookiee roar. On the spot.
That Wookiee roar during that trailer was the most perfect Wookiee roar I think that I've ever done. Spontaneous, it was in the moment.
In the moment, yeah.
Sometimes I'm off when I do them, but I can still do them. And the most memorable, most memorable Star Wars moment for me is Darth Maul pulling out that double-bladed lightsaber.
Oh, I love Darth Maul.
That whole fight. I mean, he immediately shot to my favorite character of all time in Star Wars. I was never a Darth Vader fan. He stood out to me, but you know, like I think Darth Vader is like the most popular character in the series, besides probably like Luke.
Yeah.
Certain other ones like Boba Fett that have a huge following, but Vader always looks stupid to me. Like his mask always looked like
like the way it was like formed. Yeah.
Yeah, it just look kind of bug-eyed and kind of dumb to me. You know, but anyway, Yeah, that is the most iconic. Before that, before he decided to do those, okay, put it this way: if I'm going to say like the most memorable moments for me, I'm gonna give you the top 3. And I fight with this now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe tied for number 1 and 2. Oh fuck.
When you try to put it in a list, it's hard.
Yeah, because okay, I'll pick Darth Maul pulling out that double-bladed lightsaber and that whole fight, that whole, I forgot what they called, the Duel of Fates or whatever, but that fight, then Yoda fighting.
Oh yes,
because that movie fucking sucked until he hobbled in on that cane, and I knew what was going to happen. I was like,
about to go down.
Oh shit, he's going to fight. You know, so I remember I was falling asleep, and I saw him coming. I said, "Oh my God, is he gonna fight?" And that, you know, just all these years, Yoda being this master, and you never saw anything he could do because the technology didn't allow us to really, you know, do that. But that would be number 2, a real close number 2, and damn, now I'm thinking of like more fights. Jeez.
Yeah.
That fight with Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end of the last one.
That was emotional. That was really good.
Yeah, it was emotional. It was good. I mean, just the stuff they were doing was incredible. So those are my 3 favorite scenes.
Okay. And then
because I love Return of the Jedi. That's what made me a fan, was Return of the Jedi. I love that whole damn movie. Yeah.
Okay. But next question is this one I found actually pretty interesting from Sir Rodriguez. He says, I know you're interested in acting, but do you have any interest in being a narrator or some sort of voice actor as well? Because he says you have the voice for it, which I believe as well.
Yeah. I used to take voiceover lessons a few years ago, and it was something that I wanted to do for a while, and it's something that I still want to do. It's just kind of weird with the way everything's kind of snowballing with the channel. It gets kind of overwhelming because I get a lot of emails. People want me to be in their little skits and stuff. And the guy that wants me, you know, Kenneth Bright Jr. He's the guy who created the Prince Adventures, and I did, you know, a voice for that for one of the palace guards, and he's been picked up by like Funimation, and like the dude's doing it for real.
Funimation?
Yes, he is doing it for real. And he called me. I called him the other day, and he told me, "I want you to voice this character and all these other." I'm like, "This is crazy. It." Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and it's like, it's crazy, man. So definitely kudos to him. But he didn't just get picked up for one series. He got picked up for another series that he had on the side. Wow. And he told me he might want me to voice something for that too.
See, all these things just coming in, like, just based off a couple things. Like, some person sees the right thing at the right moment. And Funimation's a big company too.
Yeah. And my whole thing, like, with my voice, I want to do different. I wouldn't mind being in different, you know, doing different characters for different series. As a matter of fact, Dragon Ball Z Absalon, I don't think he's uploaded it yet. But I was in the credits in that last one.
Really?
But I think he's going to have my voice because I don't think this, like, I remember the lines that I said, and that character wasn't in that last episode. Okay. The next one, I think he's going to be in.
Okay.
I remember the character getting really angry and he was looking for Vegeta. And I had a line, you know, where I was talking about that, and you know, he loved it, and I thought that was really cool. So wait to see that. That director that wanted me to be in one of his movies, he just contacted me the other day. I gotta get back to him. But it's like I said, it's overwhelming how much is coming in. And it's like, God, it's like I want to help people. I want to try my hand at things. It's overwhelming, and
there's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, the short answer is yes. I still want to narrate stuff. I want to voice characters. The only thing I probably don't want to do is do audiobooks. They're just too long, and I don't, you know.
Not as engaging. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I want to do something that's fun, and I don't think reading a book out loud is going to be that as fun as voice. character in a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to see it on the big screen, that would be really amazing.
Right.
Yeah. And then like
voice of a specific character,
right?
Be known for that, you know. So, yeah.
And then what was another question I was gonna ask? Right here. From Star Z, he said, what is this? What is he saying? Oh, was there a specific comic book hero that influenced you the most in your childhood?
Yeah. Shame on y'all. Y'all must be new. Superman.
Right?
You know, well, what's interesting, Superman started it all. And for me, I mean, he started it for most people, but he was like the guy. And I remember in order, it went from him to Spider-Man. And I always identified with Spider-Man because, you know, I grew up a nerd. I was a geek. I got picked on.
Stop.
I did, man.
Really? I just can't see it now. Yeah.
Wait till you see my pictures. Wait till you see my pictures. I got picked on every day, all the time. You know, either it was because of my religion, because I grew up Jehovah's Witness and I couldn't do certain things, or just because I wasn't wearing the cool sneaks, or I wasn't allowed to have a box haircut.
Really?
Allowed to, because I had to have a conservative Christian haircut, so I couldn't wear that because that's what all the cool kids and the rappers and all that stuff that you weren't supposed to be doing. They all, you know, wore that stuff, so I wasn't allowed to, man. So I got picked on a lot. Y'all have no idea. And it was kind of interesting for me to see him to go from that geek to becoming this strong, powerful. You know, especially when he got with Mary Jane, and you used to see like how, especially you saw how Todd McFarlane would draw him, like muscular, and then Mary Jane looked like a damn porn star. Like, like,
right?
Like, damn, how did he pull her? So in a way, I didn't truly believe this, but in a way, it was kind of like, hey, there is hope for those guys out there that are kind of geeky. And then the older I got, I was like, I kind of did make that metamorphosis to where, you know, I was kind of looked down upon, I was made fun of. And then I became one of the guys where like, it was like, oh shit, man, like this dude gets a lot of chicks. And that's not even me bragging, it was just like weird, but I never let it cloud my mind. Get full of myself where I'm like, yeah, I'm the man now. Because no matter what you look like, who you are, it could be taken away real fast. I've seen the hottest women that can't get a man to save their life. Same thing, the dude, you think, oh man, he got the house, he got the car, he built, he dressed well. Why are you single? You know, like a lot of things can happen. But after Spider-Man, it became Batman. And I always liked Batman as a kid, but was it 1989 Batman? Is that what it was? Yeah, that's Batman. The
dark one.
Yeah, and I had a buddy that was so into it. You know, sometimes you got friends that's into something, they kind of help get you into it because talking about it or watching it. I was like, yo, man, like you really right. Like, damn, this movie, you know. So those were always my top three: Superman first, then Spider-Man, and then Batman. And as a matter of fact, that same friend got me into both Spider-Man and Batman.
Really?
Because he was one of the artists. He was one of the artists that I knew.
Really?
Yeah, and he used to draw it all the time. And me and him were pretty good friends. It's kind of funny too because you know how friends meet, and sometimes you have what your friend doesn't have, and your friend has what you don't have. He was. Everybody called him Spider-Man.
Really?
Because he almost had like that Goku type mentality when he was a kid, to where there was nothing he didn't think that he couldn't do. I remember as children, I admired that in him. Sometimes I'm gonna show y'all shit he would do, right? So he would
there you go.
Yeah, he would do shit like this, right? So say this is the hood of a car.
Yeah.
Right? He would see people walking by on the sidewalk, say across the street from this car, and he would just on the car with him. Yeah, he would do stuff like that, and like they would be like, "Oh, yo, he's crazy," you know. Sometimes he would jump, you know, like from the ground all the way up to the top of the car, you know. He would do stuff like that. I always thought it was really cool, man. You know, it didn't seem like there was anybody he was afraid of. And, he lost a step or two later on. I don't know what happened. I think he let girls and alcohol get to his ass later on. He totally lost that mystique, but it's something that I kind of took on. You know, you kind of sometimes you take pieces from different people, you know.
Yeah.
And he's part of the reason why, along with another guy I know that was also an artist, which is kind of interesting, that I am the way I am. You know, they both helped me to kind of realize that you can be as crazy as you want to be. Just be you and have fun.
Exactly, yeah. Because I know a lot of people can pick up.
You asked me, but I totally ran off on a rant there.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, that's what people like to see, you know. Yeah, but it's funny because like people can really pick up on you if you're like not like if you're being like fake or something, or like they can really notice those type of things, you know. Yeah,
yeah, they can. Some people still think I'm fake from time. I see a comment, "Oh, this reaction is so fake." You just don't know me, buddy.
Yeah, you must be new here. Yeah.
Yeah. Must be new.
Yeah, but then especially because like one thing that I picked up on and like I've learned to do more is because like when I first started my channel, when I'd see like a hate comment or something, I'd like want to reply, and like I would reply, and then it just ends up to being no good for anybody. But that's something I've picked up on now. Whenever I see like a hate comment or anything, I just ignore it and keep going, you know. Cause
most times I just you know, like now with the comment thing, like I think if you hide their comment, it also opens them at the same time. So it's like, it's like block.
Exactly, yeah. And I think like I don't know if you've seen this, but like in the community section of YouTube for like the comments, you can actually go to like community settings, and it's like there's specific keywords that you would see like in hate comments. You can do that, and it just automatically get blocked. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I think one more question before we end this is from GG Laughs 11. Some of these usernames I'm just like I try, you know. But his question is when you have a setback or a big obstacle, how do you approach it to overcome them?
Majority of the time, if just have an issue, I'm a thinker, so I do, you know, I sit down and I really think about things. Sometimes I'll mull things over for minutes, hours off and on, you know, and if I can't find the answer that I want, most of the time it's gonna sound funny. It depends on what the problem is, but a lot of times I'll go to Google. You know, I'll post, you know, put my question in there and see what other people have had to say about certain issues, with how they solve their problems. It's really rare that I go, like, I know because a lot of people will go to like their friends or family to ask them questions, but what I found with me is that I don't know too many people that think like I do. So sometimes when I ask people questions, I notice they don't give me the answer that I really need for, you know.
Like they don't want to hurt you, so they kind of.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. That could be it with specific problems, but sometimes, like, I'll ask someone a question and they'll give me an answer that's kind of a surface type, shallow kind of answer that's not what I was looking for. I may have been looking for something that was deeper, or something to give me more understanding to what I'm looking for. And they don't know, they don't get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And there's only been a couple of people that I could ask a question to and they could really help me. Sometimes it was never truly help. It was something that would spark me. It was truly help, but they didn't totally answer my question. So you've been talking to somebody about something and you're like, they say something and you're like, just why didn't I think about that? Like, it's not that they answered your question, but it was as the conversation was moving forward, they said a word or gave an idea that would really help you. And that's how a lot of them are. Not that I'm like smarter than everybody. It's just that I don't think, like I said, people don't think like me. They don't know exactly what I'm asking when I ask them certain questions.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I can tell you what I'm saying. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because some people answer, I'm just kind of like, I don't think you grasp what I'm trying to ask. or like the thing I'm trying to, like, maybe because they don't know what I'm going through or what I'm trying to get at. But I still take it into consideration, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once again, thank you, Tyrone. Those are all the questions. Thanks for accepting this interview. And everyone, go check out Tyrone Magnus's channel. Link will be in the description down below. He's a great guy, a lot of funny stuff. And once again, be sure to check out those Magnus answers, because I know there's probably a lot of things in there that you've probably been questioning about yourself, because this is something that's been happening with me. And when I see those videos, it sufficiently answers what I want to see, you know. So be sure to check that out, all right? But yeah, you gotta do the outro. Yep.
1 million subscribers.
Woo! Thanks, Tyrone.
Yeah, no problem, man.